but I think with Bruno being the designated hitter again, having Savannah DeRoche in the middle, Anderson being at the sixth spot, I feel pretty good about it. Harper being at the very bottom of the order, I think, is going to help out KU.
So we just want to welcome you in the broadcast booth right now. We apologize immensely. The stream was not connected to the internet, so we apologize. So we did do the pregame right there, and unfortunately all of you at home weren't able to hear. We very much apologize for that. Hello, everybody. Kyle Mathas. I'm joined by Austin Eckert for the second game of this series between Iowa State and Kansas. Both Lizzie Ludwig is out in the circle to start the game. She throws a ball in the first pitch and a strike in the second pitch, so it's 1-1. So I guess now we'll have to go through the whole starting lineup again. So let's do it. Malaysia Ochoa is leading off here for the Cyclones. Michaela Ramos is second with Angelina Allen at third. Next pitch from Ludwig goes in there for a strike at the knees. It's 1-2. Carly Spellhog is the cleanup hitter at the fourth spot. Alicia Ronchase and Casey Simpson at the fifth and sixth spot. And to round out the order, Sarah Tyree at the seventh, Gianna Poole at the eighth, and Camille Marin at the ninth. Didn't really change much from yesterday's lineup of the Cyclones. This one's hit to shortstop, fielded by Harper. Flip onto first, not in time. And a leadoff base hit for Malaysia Ochoa, who continues what she did yesterday, getting on base by being hit by a pitch. Didn't have a hit, though, but she gets a hit to lead off here. Let's take a look at the Kansas starting lineup really quickly as well. Lizzie Ludwig gets a start in the circle. Lyric Moore is behind in the catcher position. Savannah DeRoche at first. Haley Kripe at second. Haley Harper at third, or rather short, with Ashley Anderson at third. Prezi Limbaugh is at left, Shayna Espy at center, and Peyton Renzi at right. First pitch to the next batter is a strike for Ludwig to Michaela Ramos, who yesterday went 1 for 3 with a hit this season. Ramos having a pretty good season as well, has almost played all games, and she's batting .305 with 43 hits. Next pitch from Ludwig is outside, and Lyric Moore checked on Ochoa over at first. It's 1-1. Once again, I'm Kyle Mathas. Alongside me is Austin Eckert. We apologize immensely. Wasn't able to get connected for the first 10 to 15 minutes of the broadcast, but it's good to be here with you today at Orochi Ballpark. This one's hit fouled on the left line by Ramos, and it's 1-2 strikes. Well, Austin, we were talking a lot about different things before we were actually on the air, but we talked about the heat. Tell me a little bit about what we talked about with the heat. It's in the mid-80s right now and sunny.
Well, you and I went down onto the field right before our pregame interview with head coach McFalls, and you said, "Oh, partner, it feels like 10 more degrees down here." So you definitely felt like it was hotter. The throw to first is not in time, but you felt like it was 10 degrees hotter down there. So, and you had asked me, is this going to be a factor? I really don't know. I don't think it was that bad, but you heard it from Coach McFalls, like they like playing in the heat. So I think rather than allowing this to be a disadvantage for them, I think they're going to use this to their strengths.
Well, on the last pitch, it was a strikeout by Ludwig to Michaela Ramos. So there's one out as a swing and a miss to Angelina Allen, who comes up next to bat for the Cyclones. Angelina Allen this season, batting .212. Unfortunately, well, she isn't in the third spot, but she has one of the lowest batting averages on the team, and I think that's just the trust that, even being a sophomore, as this one's hit foul, a little dribbler, but it's just still, I guess, the trust that Coach Jamie Pinkerton has for her as well. Yesterday, Angelina Allen still batted in the third position, but went 1 for 2 with a double and 2 RBIs. So she had a good game yesterday, and that win really helped. Those 2 RBIs helped that 2-run win for the Iowa State Cyclones. Here's the 0-2 from Ludwig, and this one is just a tad inside for a 1-2 count. With one out, Ochoa stands at first, and the top of the first here to Rocha. Carly Spellhog is on deck as the cleanup hitter. Here is the 1-2 from Ludwig. This one's hit, might be a double play chance. Having trouble fielding it is Kripe, and she overthrows Savannah DeRoche at first and advancing to third. And advancing now to second is Angelina Allen. Advancing to third is Malaysia Ochoa. So 2 bases for both runners off an error. It's going to be an E4 by Haley Kripe. The throw went past DeRoche at first, and now we get a whole infield circle visit for Ludwig. That really wasn't Ludwig's fault. I mean, she set up Haley Kripe for a chance to get that second out, and the throw is just wide of first base.
Haley Kripe there, unfortunately, that ball bounced in and out of her glove to begin with, and then the throw to first was just a little bit out wide, and that advanced the runners in scoring position. So you have a runner on second and third with only 2 more outs to work with for the Cyclones. So Kansas is going to have to find a way to hold their ground, because in this situation, it's pretty tough to not walk away without allowing a run.
Well, now coming up is Carly Spellhog, the cleanup hitter, with 2 runners in scoring position and 1 out. Ludwig winds up and delivers. This one is hit foul down the left field line, so no balls, 1 strike. Angelina Allen stands on second. On third is Malaysia Ochoa. And Carly Spellhog has a sister on this team, but
she pitched yesterday.
Yep, her sister pitched yesterday. Had a pretty good game, too. Only 1 run allowed. Here's the 0-1. This one's hit down the line and off the third base bag. It's going to be fair, and 2 runs are going to score as well. And it's 2-0 Iowa State here in the top of the first inning. It's an RBI single for Carly Spellhog, and it is 2-0, but that was a really awkward play. The ball hit off the third base bag and allowed 2 runs to be scored. Ochoa came from third and Allen came from second, and already the Jayhawks trail in this game.
I mean, what do you do when the ball bounces off of the bag like that, partner? There's really not a whole lot you can do, so.
Can't really do much about that.
Spellhog with a really, really, really lucky 2-run RBI single here in the top of the first.
First pitch from Ludwig to Alicia Ranches is a swing and a miss, strike 1. So middle of the order comes up for the Cyclones.
I mean,
oh, no, go ahead, partner.
Oh, no, I was going to say, not only did the ball bounce off the bag, but partner, once it fell down, it was still fair, and that ball could have easily been a foul ball, but that was a really lucky hit by Spellhog, nonetheless.
The 0-1 swung on and missed. It's no balls, 2 strikes. As we see Alicia Ranches come up, she came up a few times yesterday, went 0 for 3. Definitely she would want to do better this game. The senior from Hawaii, actually the first Iowa State Cyclone player to be picked up from Hawaii in team history. As this one's hit weakly to shortstop, and on the dive and not able to make the play is Haley Harper, and that is going to be a base hit. That looks like it'll be just a clean base hit as it went off her glove. But Ranches gets the first, Spellhog gets the second, and now here comes the 6th hitter, Casey Simpson, to bat now. It's Casey Simpson this season, the senior from Keller, Texas, batting .226. And just a big situation right now, already up 2-0 of the Cyclones against Lizzie Ludwig, who has just had a rough go of things during the first. This one skied out to center field. Shayna Espion to make the grab. Tacking and going to third is the runner. And we see Carly Spellhog advancing to third base from second on the second out, though. Shayna Espy makes the play.
Smart by Simpson there to lace one into center field to advance the runner to third. Now you have the runners on the corners. Iowa State, only 1 more out to work with. But I think if you can get a base hit here, you can make the score 3-0 here. But see if Kansas can hold their ground.
Lizzie Ludwig will go up against Sarah Tyree, the 7th batter in the order, the senior, batting .256 as she throws one just on the outside portion of the strike zone for strike 1. But I mean, this Iowa State squad, predominantly upperclassmen, juniors and seniors, maybe a couple sophomores, but one of the oldest batting lineup and starting lineup in the Big 12. A ton of seniors, and Sarah Tyree is one of them. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Ludwig. She's going to check her swing as it goes down low, and taking off for a second, now taking off for home. We got a little bit of a standstill. The throw goes from Lyric Bourne to outfield and tagging for third and going to score a run. Wow, that was a mistake from Kansas. So a run scores. It was chaos in the infield. How do I even explain what just happened? So it looked like over at first, Alicia Ranches thought it was a hit by pitch because she was just trotting over to second for some reason. Lyric Moore threw it to second. And then taking off to go to home was Carly Spellhog from third. They threw it to Lyric Moore. Lyric Moore threw it to third, and Ashlyn Anderson wasn't able to make the tag. And Carly Spellhog scores from third, and Alicia Ranches advances all the way from first to third. I mean, a bunch of bad errors by the Jayhawks. 2 already in the first. It's now 3-0 Iowa State. What is going on with this defense right now? Yeah, the Kansas Jayhawks.
Yeah, that throw to third plate, partner. It was just a tad bit wide, and man, that was kind of a weird situation. We had 2 runners that were kind of like running back and forth. You have a runner at first and second running back and forth, and a runner from third to home plate running back and forth as well.
Welcome back to Rocha Ballpark as we get ready to begin the bottom of the first. Kansas going to need some offense now after now going down 3-0 here in the early stages of this one. It was 3 hits for the Cyclones, 2 errors on the Jayhawks' part, scored 3 runs. Carly Charles gets the start for the Iowa State Cyclones in the circle in today's contest, and Carly with an ERA of 3.03, the senior, the right-handed pitcher, a 4-2 record, but she's more of a pitcher that comes in towards the end of the game. It's interesting to see that Pinkerton gets her to start the game here. She has 2 saves this season in 60 innings pitched. Let's take a look now at the starting lineup for the Jayhawks offensively. So Presley Limbaugh gets the leadoff spot over Shayna Espy. Lyric Moore gets second with Olivia Bruno at third. Cleanup hitters Haley Kripe with Savannah DeRoche and Ashlyn Anderson at the 5 and 6 spot. Peyton Renzi will bat 7th. Shayna Espy will bat 8th. And Haley Harper will bat 9th. Shayna Espy has batted in the 8th spot for the last few games after leading off for almost the entire season. All right, so Iowa State's defense looks like this. Carly Charles gets the start in the circle. Camille Marin is behind the plate playing the catcher position. Carly Spellhog is at first. Casey Simpson at second. Alicia Ranches at short. And Sarah Tyree at third. As the first pitch is down and away for ball 1. Angelina Allen is in the left field. Malaysia Ochoa is in center. And Tiana Poole is in right. That's the defense for the Cyclones. Didn't really change much from yesterday's competition where they won 3-1. So 1-0 to Presley Limbaugh, who comes up to bat as the leadoff hitter for the Jayhawks. She takes back-to-back balls as that one's outside of the plate for 2-0. Presley Limbaugh, her average second place on the team, .269 batting average. The only batter ahead of her is Lyric Moore, batting .299. She's on deck. Here's the 2-0. That's a nice pitch at the knees of Limbaugh, and that's going to be strike 1. Carly Charles this season, 42 strikeouts, 67 hits allowed, and 242 at-bats. So the majority of her at-bats are groundouts and flyouts. Here's the pitch as Limbaugh gets a hold of this one out to left center, and on to make the grab at center is Malaysia Ochoa for the first out here in the bottom of the first. So Limbaugh attacks the 4th pitch in the at-bat and flies out to center. Here's Lyric Moore, the best hitter on the squad. But it's good to have all of you listening today here on a beautiful, beautiful, yet kind of hot, down on the field at least, Saturday afternoon here in Lawrence, Kansas. 85 degrees and sunny as the Jayhawks go up against the Cyclones. My name's Kyle Mathas. I'm joined by Austin Eckert here in the broadcast booth. First pitch to Moore, inside of the strike zone for a 1-0 count. 1 ball, no strikes. For Lyric Moore, who's batting .299, very, very close to getting up to 300 in the batting order. She'd be the only player on the team that would be over 300. Here's the next pitch, the 1-0. And Moore flies this one out to right field. This might stay fair, and it will. Off the wall, Moore turns around and goes to second. So a 1-out double from Lyric Moore, and that just might bring her over 300 in batting average. Good job by Lyric Moore.
That was a really nice ball placement there. That ball literally hit the corner right over at the fair ball pole out at right field. I mean, that was a perfectly placed hit by Lyric Moore.
Kansas went 3 for 22 in yesterday's defeat to the Cyclones in the opening game of the series. Lyric Moore went 0 for 3 with a strikeout. So now here comes Olivia Bruno, the 3rd hitter in the order, with Moore at second. Takes a strike at the knees for strike 1. 3-0 here at Rocha Ballpark. First hit for the Jayhawks comes from a double from Lyric Moore here in the bottom of the first. 2 errors for the Jayhawks so far, if you're just joining us. Both of those errors ended up bringing home runs for the Cyclones. This one is down and away for ball one, so 1-1 count. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Haley Kripe is on deck for Kansas. Carly Charles, here's the 9th pitch. She hits this one, and this one will drop. Lyric Moore takes off for third, and she'll stay at third. It's a base hit for Olivia Bruno into right center, shallow right center. And the Jayhawks now runners on the corner with 1 out here in the bottom of the first.
That was a nice blooper by Olivia Bruno. That ball was placed perfectly as well. Now you have runners on the corners with 2 outs to work with, partner. The least you can do if you're Haley Kripe coming up here, you can at least hit a sacrifice fly to bring in more home if you want to bring in at least 1 run here. But Kansas with an opportunity to get the first couple of runs for them on the board today.
Coach McFalls talking to Lyric Moore over at third. Assistant head coach Megan Nelson over at first talking to Bruno. Here is Haley Kripe, like Austin had mentioned. She comes up to bat with runners on the corner as a cleanup hitter in the 4th spot, batting 176 on the season, gets her 25th start of the year, has 13 RBIs this season, looking for her 14th to bring home Lyric Moore, standing at third. Here's the first pitch. Takes that one up high for ball 1. Also, Cyclones seeming a little on edge, at least at second and short. Maybe being careful of a stolen base from Olivia Bruno, who already has 3 this season. Here's the 1-0. This one's hit pretty deep out to left field and back at the wall. Say goodbye. It's a home run for Haley Kripe. And this game is all tied up at 3, ladies and gentlemen. It's just like we started it. And Haley Kripe now with her 4th home run of the season. What a response from the Jayhawks. The sun is shining today, ladies and gentlemen. Kansas has tied the game.
And I make that a total of 16 RBIs now for Haley Kripe. That ball was placed beautifully in left field. That ball was gone. As soon as it left the bat, we knew that ball was out of here. So 3-run homer for Haley Kripe and 16 RBIs now for her on the season as well.
What a play. What a play by Haley Kripe. And what a response by the Jayhawks. 2 errors in the top of the first. Leads to 3 Iowa State runs, and they respond immediately. First pitch over the glove of the catcher, Camille Marin, and off the backstop for a 1-0 count to Savannah DeRoche, who comes into this game with a .204 batting average, one of the top batters in this lineup at the 7th in terms of the highest batting average. This game is all tied at 3, ladies and gentlemen, as she takes a strike on the outside portion of the strike zone. It's 1-1. Man, you just can't make some of this stuff up. I mean, what a response. That one was crushed out into left field. Turning around and looking at it was Angelina Allen, and she could do nothing about it. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss by DeRoche. Carly Charles trying to respond after, if you're just joining us, giving up a 3-run homer for Haley Kripe. That is actually Charles' 14th home run given up this season. So 1 ball, 2 strikes to DeRoche. Swing and a miss on the outside portion of the strike zone, and that'll be the first strikeout of the game for either pitcher. And it comes here in the bottom of the first inning. So first strikeout by Charles. 3-3 here at Rocha Ballpark between the Jayhawks and Cyclones.
Well, what a response by Charles to get the strikeout on DeRoche after giving up a 3-run homer, partner. And now the Cyclones have 2 away on defense. Now you got Ashlyn Anderson coming up who could make things happen for Kansas here.
First pitch to Anderson. She gets a hold of this one, but a little late, and it goes into the right field foul territory. So it's no balls and 1 strike. Ashlyn Anderson, 6th in the highest batting average on the team with .233. She has 30 hits on the season, 19 runs scored on 129 at-bats. Anderson hits this one, and it's going to go through the gap in between second and third, and a base hit for Anderson. So a 2-out base hit. She is going to bring herself up to a solid 31 hits on the season. So now we will see Peyton Renzi coming up. She will start today out in right field and in the batting box in place of Ainsley Linduff. Now we're going to see the Iowa State head coach here coming out to talk with the home plate umpire here in this game, Jamie Pinkerton. He's going to tell the home plate umpire something. We might get a pitching change here really early in the game. Carly Charles is going to get replaced, and it looks like so Charles gets replaced, and coming in for her is Jaden Ralston, the freshman from Paso Robles, California, an ERA of 4.01, has a 6-8 record on 66.1 innings pitched, 67 strikeouts, 65 hits. Opponent batting average of 255. Well, partner, I mean, Carly Charles gets one strikeout, gives up a 3-run home run, and gives up a base hit to Anderson. And obviously, that wasn't the game plan. That wasn't what Jamie Pinkerton, Iowa State head coach, was expecting, and she gets replaced.
Yeah, it's kind of strange, for Iowa State to go ahead and make a change in the first inning, but obviously there's a plan and everything, and they felt like that this was necessary. But, Kansas right now, they're on a roll. 3-run bomb from Haley Kripe, and then a base hit for Ashley Anderson. Kansas on a roll here, partner, and they've only got one more out to work with, but they could very well make something happen here. But let's see if the Iowa State defense can respond.
Peyton Renzi is up to bat. Shayna Espy in the 8th spot is on deck. Ashlyn Anderson over at first. It's kind of crazy how for both teams, in the first inning, they've almost went through their whole entire starting lineup, their whole entire starting batting order. KU at the 7th spot right now. Iowa State, Sarah Tyree was out at the 7th spot. Here's the first pitch from Ralston, Renzi takes one high for ball 1. So Jaden Ralston has no complete games and 1 save. Here's the 1-0. And she's going to take that one on the inside portion of the strike zone. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. And what a game it has been so far. If you're just joining us, Iowa State scored 3 runs on the top of the first. KU responded. Check swing. She didn't go around, so that'll be ball 2. 2-1. We saw just a really defensively pitching-focused game yesterday with a 3-1 final scoreline. And this is not as defensively focused so far in this game. Swing and a miss there for Renzi. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
Yeah, you mentioned it. It's been a defensive, affair, I think, for Kansas in some of their games as of late. But, for them to start off the ball game after being down 3-0 to start off, respond with a 3-run bomb, I think was big for the offense. And that's not something that we've seen very often from their batting group. But that was huge for Kansas in the way that they responded as that pitch is upstairs for ball 3.
So 3-2, full count, 2 outs for Renzi, batting .350 this season, only 20 at-bats. This is her 21st. She's going to take that one in the strike zone. She didn't want to swing, and that's going to be a strikeout, recorded by Jaden Ralston. So she comes into the game and gets a strikeout, and this game will be all tied up at 3, heading into the top of the second. What a response for the Jayhawks. They get a 3-run home run from Haley Kripe, who has made her name and her presence felt here in the starting lineup over the last few games. Well, to the top of the second, this is Kansas Softball on the Jayhawk Sports Network, all tied up at 3 from Arocha.